Hey there, David Varrone, and this of course is the Success for the Rest of Us video. We had been doing this call actually live each day at about 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and I had promised to bring video to the table. So the format of our call is now going to a video blog, and I just wanted you all to be able to connect with me on your own schedule, at your own timing. So here we are. We're on the balcony of my house in Weston, Florida, and we'll get connected every day. About midday, the video should go live along with a blog entry that accompanies it, and the information should really help you get your business going. It'll be based on experience that I've had either in the real business world over the last 25 years or on the success I've had in home-based businesses or activities. Now, I'm going to keep it kind of neutral as we move forward because about 17 different opportunities plug in to me and listen to me. So may this information be of use to you, and may it be unilateral enough to work with all these different opportunities. Today, what I wanted to bring to the table and talk to you about was the power of intention. The power of what your mind visualizes is going to have a huge impact on what you'll even dare to do, what you'll put together as your to-do list, and what you'll actually accomplish. And the metaphor that I like to use for all this as we come into the holiday season is, well, right now, some of you are preparing to travel. Some of you are preparing to have people in your home later this week. And oftentimes we do a little bit of either side of the equation. And it kind of brings to mind the complexity of one of the things that we love to do, which is to make a turducken. And what I want to do is sort of set up this picture in your mind of what goes on in my mind when we create a way of doing things like this. To create a turducken, by the way, or to create any recipe, right? When you start out with an idea of making something or preparing for a party, first you think of, wow, who do I want to have here? And you might even think of how they're going to behave and how they might behave when they're here. Then you think about what you want to serve, whether it be hors d'oeuvres or a combination of hors d'oeuvres and the main dish and dessert and all that stuff. But you begin to build expectation and visualizations in your mind of exactly what you want to see have happen. So in doing that, we really do something neat as human beings. No other animal can do what we can do when it comes to visualizing things and coming up with a plan of action. So with the case of the turducken, just to give you an example, right? When we think of this, we put together a list of like 20 people that are coming over, whether they're friends, family, or what have you. And then we put together, first we check what's in the cupboard, right? What's in the fridge, what's in the cupboard, what ingredients do we have, what pots and pans are going to be put together to create all this stuff. And once we have the list of the stuff we have and the stuff we're going to use, then we create a list, right, a shopping list of what we're going to go pick up to be able to make our vision or our intention come true. And this is a parallel for what we do when we're in a home-based business, when we want to create results on a daily basis. So let me finish this analogy here for you. So when it comes to making a turducken, right, we have the pot, the pan, if you will, for this big old pan. But we lack the turkey, we lack the chicken, we lack the duck, we probably have the stuffing in the house. And we create two different lists, right? We've got the list of the stuff we have, and we create the shopping list of what we're going to put together and use to create the turducken. And again, this is a metaphoric story, but it draws parallels into what you've got to do on a daily basis in your home-based business or activity. So, turning to the turducken now. Turducken, just for those of you that haven't seen anything like this on the Food Network, or you're probably going to Google it now, of course, turducken, T-U-R-D-U-C-K-E-N, turducken. It's what it is a deboned turkey except for the drumsticks, and you kind of lay that out flat. And then you put some cornbread stuffing on top of that, like a layer, and then you put a deboned chicken except for the drumsticks on top of that. And then you put more cornbread stuffing, and you put a duck on the inside of that. And then you put more stuffing in the middle of it, you roll it all up, you stitch it all up, and in our case, we like to kind of bake it on the barbecue. We set indirect heat up on the barbecue, and we cook it at about 325 for about 5 hours. It gets nice and crisp on the outside, and on the inside, because the duck is so fatty, if you will, it kind of moisturizes all the rest of the meats, and you have a unique dish the way we do it. So in just drawing together what occurs, right, we vision in our minds what we want to have take place. Then we recognize what we already have in stock that we can use to make this vision become a reality. Then we create an ingredient list or a list of things we will require to complete the vision, and then we put a to-do list together on running to the store and getting the turducken put together by a certain time, and who's coming and who's getting invited, and eventually our entire vision of what we were looking to have take place in the future comes to pass. That's not unlike a home-based business. Believe it or not, you're doing the same things, and if you're not, maybe that's why you might be challenged. Each day, you must start with a vision or a goal of exactly what you want to have happen. When you create that vision in your mind, you then can make a list of the elements that it will take to complete the vision, or to make it come to pass, make it happen. And when you do that, it's going to come in the form of the resources that you do have. And then what you don't have goes on that shopping list, right? You write out the shopping list, and you head over to the store, you get all the elements you need to put it together, you bring the elements home, you follow the to-do list or the instructions that you have in your mind to put that together. In this case, it's a turducken, and bingo, you hit your goal. Thanksgiving is a success. So it's a great time of year to look at things like that. As we come into the holiday season, many of you are either going to attend a holiday gathering or you're going to create one, and you're going to be the master of it. Attending someone else's is even easier. You know, it's a little bit of a different list, but you know, you're going to fly there. So you know you need an airline ticket, you need a ride to the airport, you need to pack a suitcase, you need to find a place to sleep while you're there if you're not staying with friends or family. You get my drift. When it comes to being in business, when it comes to being successful at doing what you want to do, the first thing you have to do is look at it from the end result first. What is it you want to accomplish? My recommendation is you take it in bite-sized chunks, day-sized chunks. So if your goal today was to create $500 in income in one day, you would want to create a plan of action for around that. And the first thing you're going to do is, wow, okay, $500, the end result. I know what that looks like in the checkbook, so you have a clear vision of your end result. Now, you have to take stock of what elements are you going to require to be able to achieve that goal. If you don't have leads, if you are missing leads, if you are missing customers on a list, if you are missing the ability to communicate with customers, these are all things that you're going to need. So the first thing you want to do is recognize what you do have. Many of you have hundreds of friends on Facebook. Think about that. Really think about that. Many of you have business acquaintances. You might want to think about that, particularly if you are in networking, because this would be a very rapid way to your achievement of a goal today. Some of you don't have those resources, right? So you're going to make the first thing on your list of missing resources is customer contacts. Contacts with people that could potentially be your customer or who already were your customer or are a customer of the things you have to offer. And you're going to begin to look at that. And one of the things you're going to do is look at how many customer contacts will it take to be successful. And we need two other little elements of information. For this illustration, let's assume that each sale had a $100 profit. If your goal was to hit a $500 profit for the day, you're obviously going to have to communicate with enough people so that you have 5 results. Now for some of you that might be talking to 5 people. Some of you are fantastic. For some of you it might require talking to 20 people to get 1 result. And either way, it doesn't matter. All it is some extra steps in the process. You know, sort of like if I had to get a different ingredient for that turducken in multiple different places because my grocery store didn't stock it, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to go do what I've got to do to get the ingredients together to complete my vision of what Thanksgiving is to be. Now, as you roll forward with your business plan, with your plan of action for the day, once you have knowledge of the resources you do have that are going to get you to your goal, and you have a second list of the resources you don't have that'll be required to get you to your goal, you now can start assembling a to-do list for the day. And if the to-do list is finding possible customers, well, some of you are going to go buy leads. Others of you are going to go find traffic and put it in front of a website. You may even send emails out to 100 people or a couple of hundred people in order to line up those 5 sales. But the same principles apply. Nothing takes place without your clear vision of the end result, your list of things that you do have that'll get you there, and your list of things that you don't have that you're going to have to acquire to get you there. Now some of you are saying, wait Dave, you're focusing on the negative, what you don't have. Not really. What I want you to become aware of is there are elements that you're going to have to gather and put together. And the minute you recognize them, the minute your subconscious recognizes them on the list, is the minute you'll start moving in the direction of making them happen. So this is what I wanted to share with you today on our Success for the Rest of Us gathering. Now the other thing I want to be aware of, and I'll put a picture up, I'll actually get you a picture of Sherry and I making a turducken so you can see this was actually something that I did. The other thing I wanted to share with y'all is I'm actually talking to you, or this video is being taken in a manner where often you hear me on the call and I'm walking around talking to y'all. And in the process of talking to you, I'm usually walking across this balcony. It's one of my favorite places to talk on the phone. The reason why is because literally there's a ton of pictures on the wall of my entire family from the time they were babies to the time they grew up. I'll give you a view of that in just a second. And then the other thing is I get to look out these two big beautiful windows that look at the whole neighborhood. So it gives me an ability to see out there, not just be I never sit behind a desk. It drives me crazy to do that. So that's what I have for you today. Let's take a quick peek. Make sure this comes out okay. I'm stepping out of the way. So, you know, here's, I don't know, it's probably up too close, but there we go. That's the whole wall there of the kids, the family, everything, and it kind of creeps onto that wall over there. But literally now, as we go down and we look, we have these big old windows. And then we have a view of the cul-de-sac that I'm almost always looking out at when I'm on the phone with many of you. And that's what I have to share with you today on the Success for the Rest of Us video blog. Bye for now.